Om Sarvapriyananda Samiti Sarvapriyananda Avadara Vishnaya Nama Krishnaya. Revered Principal Maharaj, other respected members of the teaching faculty, members of the non-teaching staff, dear students and guests, as always it's great to be invited to this college and to be given an opportunity to speak here. Just last week we observed Guru Purnima, where we show our respect, we give respect to our teachers. Now the tradition is, this is the birthday of Veda Vyasa. It is actually Vyasa Purnima. This ancient rishi, Vyasa, Veda Vyasa, got his name because he is the one who is supposed to have compiled the Vedic mantras and arranged them in 4 Vedas. We all know that the Vedas are 4 in number: Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. It is supposed to be Veda Vyasa himself who organized it, who classified it, who compiled all the existing Vedic mantras into these 4 texts. In the Vedas, we find a vast amount of ritualistic literature. The major portion of the Vedas deals with Karma Kanda, the science of ritualistic performance, the ancient Vedic fire sacrifice, Yajna. Other than that, there are smaller portions which deal with philosophical subjects. Those portions are called the Jnana Kanda, the knowledge portion. And the Jnana Kanda is comprised of the Upanishads. So in each Veda, there are these philosophical texts called the Upanishads, which admittedly form a small part of the Veda. So these Upanishads together are known as Vedanta. So Vedanta actually means Upanishads. And Upanishads together are known as Jnana Kanda. Therefore, Jnana Kanda of the Veda is equal to Upanishads is equal to Vedanta. Why Vedanta? In some sense, you can say that these Upanishads are located, some of these Upanishads are located at the end of the Vedas. And therefore Vedanta, end of Vedas. But a deeper meaning would be that the highest knowledge, the spiritual knowledge given in the Vedas is contained in these Upanishads. The highest knowledge, the final knowledge, the ultimate philosophical knowledge that the Vedas have to teach us is found in the Upanishads. So in that sense, Vedanta, the ultimate knowledge or the final knowledge. These Upanishads are many in number. In one of them, Muktika Upanishad, we find a list of 108 Upanishads. And they were, tradition holds that there were more than 1,000 Upanishads, many of them are lost now. But again, traditionally, 10 of these Upanishads are taken to be major Upanishads. There is a verse in Sanskrit which enumerates these major Upanishads. Isha tena katha prashna mundamandukya titirihi aitareyam cha chandukyam brihat aranyakam tatha. 10 Upanishads known as Dasha Upanishad. Isha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, and Aitareya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Why are these 10 selected or designated as major Upanishads? The reason is that around 1400 years ago, Adi Shankaracharya selected these texts for writing commentaries, bhashya. And therefore, these are taken as major Upanishads and they form the basis of the Vedanta philosophy. So if you ask, in brief, what are the main texts, the source texts of Vedanta philosophy, the answer would be these 10 Upanishads. Vedanta Nama Upanishad Pramanam. The source of knowledge called the Upanishads is Vedanta. What do these Upanishads teach us? What is the central thesis of the Upanishads? The central idea conveyed by the Upanishads is put beautifully in one of the Upanishadic mantras, which Swami Vivekananda was very fond of quoting. When Swami Vivekananda went to the West primarily to teach the Upanishads there, he would often recite this mantra and translate into English. The mantra goes like this. We know it very well because there is a beautiful translation by Rabindranath Tagore. Shrimantu Vishve Amritasya Putra Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastu Vedaham Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasak Parastha Tameva Viditva Ati Mrityumeti Namya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. What does it mean? In the untraceable past, some unknown rishi stands up and says, Shrimantu Vishve Amritasya Putra, listen ye children of immortal bliss. Listen to what? He even says, Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastu. If there are heavens, if there are gods in heavens, you also listen. Because what I am going to say now is something that even you do not know. Even the gods in heaven do not know this wisdom. What does he tell us? Vedaham Purusham Mahantam. I have realized the infinite being. Purusham Mahantam means the infinite being. I have realized. What is this infinite being like? What are its characteristics? What is its nature? He says, Aditya Varnam, blazing forth like the sun. Not with a material light like the sun, but with the light of consciousness. Aditya Varnam. Tamasa Parastha, forever beyond darkness, beyond the darkness of death and misery and suffering, there is an existence, an infinite existence which I have realized. Okay, suppose you have realized that. What is the use of it? What prayojana? What human need is fulfilled by this realization? And the Rishi says, Tameva viditva ati mrityumeti. By realizing that alone, one transcends death. One transcends human limitation, sorrow and suffering. Is there any other way? Politics, economics, science, technology, any other way? Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. The Rishi says very categorically, there is no other way which can give a permanent solution, a complete solution to the human condition, to the existential sorrow of our life. So realizing this infinite being is what the Upanishad is all about. Vedanta philosophy is about this. This is the core idea of Vedanta. If you take up these ancient Vedantic texts, one thing that you have to know at the very beginning is prayojana. Why should I read it? What is the purpose of all this? What will I get out of it? Nowadays in management they talk about take-home pay. Why only management? We all talk about take-home pay. So you get so much salary from the government. How much ultimately after tax and PF and everything deductions, how much cash do you take home? So what is the take-home from Vedanta? What do you get from Vedanta? The prayojanam, the benefit is this. They say, they put it in this way, Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda praptischa. Complete transcendence of suffering and attainment of ultimate bliss, a permanent bliss and ultimate bliss. Dukkha nivritti ananda praptischa. This is the goal. You may say that this is the goal of human life anyway. What we are trying to do in life is to overcome suffering and attain happiness and joy. And that in fact is the goal of the Upanishads. Many of these Upanishads are in the form of dialogues. It reminds you of the Socratic dialogues. In the Mundaka Upanishad, for example, you find the Shishya, the disciple, approaches the teacher. Shaunako Havai Mahashala Angirasam Vidivanupasanna Papracha. Shaunaka. These names are, even today we use these names. Shaunaka is a well-known Bengali name. And you can trace it back to the Upanishads. The Shaunaka is the disciple who comes to the Rishi Angiras and he asks a question. This is the central question of the Upanishads. This is the central theme, the line of inquiry taken in the Upanishads. What is the question? Kasminno bhagavo vidyate sarvamidam vidyatam bhavati. Sir, what is it knowing which we know everything? What is it by knowing which everything in the universe is known? What is that one vidya by knowing which all vidyas are known? We find the same question in different Upanishads. In the Chandogya Upanishad, when Shvetaketu comes back after graduating from studies, comes back home, his father asks him, have they taught you that vidya, knowing which all vidyas are known? Have they taught you that one thing by knowing which everything is known? So this is the line of inquiry. What is the answer? What is that by knowing which we can know everything? If I say that in a BA college, I don't know if it is still there, you're all good students, but I still remember 10 years, 15 years back, they would say there is one Ved. There is all the papers, you may not know that. This your standard is much higher. Your standard is much higher now. What used to happen earlier was there was this very big, thick book with all possible questions and all possible answers. So the idea was to read that one book, then you can answer all questions. That is not true, but that was the idea. By knowing one thing, I can know all papers. This is very nice. So that was the question asked by Shaunaka or asked by the Rishi sometimes in the Upanishad. What is that one thing by knowing which one can know everything? And the answer given by the Rishi in the Mundaka Upanishad, he does not give a direct answer. His approach is, the way of teaching. The pedagogical approach taken there is very interesting. Instead of giving a direct answer, you know this XYZ and you will know everything. Instead of saying that, he says, knowledge is of two kinds. First, understand this. You want to know something by which you can know everything, but first understand that knowledge is of two kinds. Dvedidye veditavye iti hasmayat brahma vido vadanti paraseva parasha. The Rishi said, knowledge is of two kinds. Two kinds of knowledge are to be acquired. What are these two kinds of knowledge? One, he says, is relative, apara, and the other one, transcendent, para. The relative knowledge and the transcendent knowledge. Now first, he gives a list, a syllabus, a curriculum of all relative knowledge. What is relative knowledge? What is apara vidya? And the Rishi says, Tatra pararikveda yajurveda samaveda atharvaveda shiksha kalpa vyakaranam niruktam chando jyotishamiti. He gives a list. The Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, and the 6 Vedangas, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Chando, Jyotisha, Nirukta. Today he would have said there is an entire syllabus of all the subjects in the university. A to Z, all knowledge is Aparavidya. If all knowledge is Aparavidya, what about the Vedas? Aparavidya. Upanishad, Aparavidya. Then what is Paravidya? If everything is Aparavidya, then what remains? What is Paravidya? And the Rishi says, Parayaya tadaksharamanigamyate. Paravidya is that by which the akshara, the unchangeable spiritual reality, which the Rishi had called Purusham Mahankam, infinite being, that vidya by which you realize that infinite being, that akshara, That is called Paravidya. And that is the subject of the Upanishads. The Upanishads themselves are Apara, but they teach Paravidya. They will enable the seeker to attain Paravidya. So that is the central idea which you find in the Upanishads. In the Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetaketu, the disciple, he had a doubt, and we should all have this doubt. Is there any knowledge by knowing which everything is known? How is that possible? Shvetaketu, the commentator Shankaracharya says, the doubt is this. By knowing one knowledge, we know the object of that knowledge. If I learn German, do I learn all languages? No. I learned only German. And that is just language. There are so many things other than language. There is science and art and so much. So how is it that by learning one thing, one can learn everything, one can know everything? How is it possible? The answer is this. The answer takes us to the Upanishadic idea of causality, cause and effect. It's like this. How many things are there, how many pieces of furniture are there in this room? There are maybe 200 chairs and this lectern and the benches here and the entire stage, all of them, maybe 200 or 250 pieces of furniture here. Now what is that one thing by knowing which you can know everything? Is there one thing? There are 250 things, but by knowing one thing you can understand everything. What is that one thing? The answer is, if you know the cause, you will know the effect. Technically, if you know the upadana, the material cause, that out of which everything is manufactured, that which forms the essence of everything, if you understand that, you understand everything. What is that? It is, in this case, it is wood. If you know wood, if you understand what is wood, in that case, from wood drishti, from the point of view of wood, how many pieces of furniture, how many things are there, how many entities? You will say only one thing is there, wood. If you count the furniture, the tables, chairs and benches and the stage, 200 or 300 pieces. If you count the material itself, only one thing, wood. So, by knowing the cause, one knows the effect. By understanding the cause, one understands the effects. The cause is one, the effects are many. And one of course can understand that this is a very particular view of causality. There may be different views of causality, but this is one way of understanding causality. By knowing the cause, one understands the effect. It is like, let me give you a very interesting example how the Upanishad proceeds. In the Chandogya Upanishad, you see the example of a clay pot, mati kolshi. And it's very natural. Why in the Upanishads, in the Shastras, you will often come across clay pot. Because if you do excavation about any ancient civilization, whether in India or in Egypt or wherever, in Mesopotamia, what is the first thing that you will discover? Clay pottery. That's what lasts. That's what remains. So the clay pot, take a clay pot. What is it? Our first answer is a pot. It's a pot. Ghata. It's a pot. Inquire more deeply. The pot is an effect because the material is clay. Ghata is the effect. Mrittika is the cause, the material, the upadana. So, if you inquire deeper, you find the cause is clay and the effect is pot. Fine, we understand that. Inquire deeper. Further, you see, how will you inquire? You see. You will see that outside it is all clay. If you look inside it is clay. If you look at the bottom it is clay. If you look at the top it is clay. In fact, you discover that the entire pot is nothing but clay. If you try to analyze that how much of it is pot and how much of it is clay, how much is ghata and how much is mrittika, you will find ghata 0, mrittika 100%. Why? Because if you weigh the clay, the weight of the clay is equal to the weight of the pot. The pot does not weigh 1 gram, 1 microgram more than the clay. There is nothing physically more in the pot than there is in the clay. You come to the conclusion that the pot does not exist except as a name. It's a form of the clay. It's a name given to the clay. It performs certain functions. So what if you say? Pot is still there. So what? What have we accomplished by this? Something magical has been accomplished by this. What has been accomplished? See, we started with the pot drishti, and we ended up with clay drishti. Same pot, the analysis, you see how it went. First stage, it's a pot. Second stage, there is a cause of this pot. There is a upadana, material, that is called clay. Third stage, there is only clay in this pot. Inside, outside, above, below, only clay. And last stage, there is no pot. It's clay only. You start with pot drishti, end up with clay drishti. Upanishads take you in this way. You start with jagat drishti, jiva drishti. I am a human being. This is samsara. These are all jivas, individual beings. And they will take you step by step to such an to that fourth stage where you will discover there is only one existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. The jiva, the jagat has no existence apart from that. Starting with jagat drishti, samsara drishti, if you go through the Upanishadic process, you will end up with Brahma drishti. From jagat drishti to Brahma drishti. This is the process, a very amazing process that the Upanishad takes us through. Now when we talk about the philosophy of the Upanishads, here are two words, Upanishads or Vedanta and philosophy. When you talk about philosophy, Vedanta darshan, the moment darshana shabda comes, Upanishads are not the end. After Upanishads, the philosophy of the Upanishad was developed by none other than the same Vedavyasa. He wrote the Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutras. The entire philosophy of Vedanta is compressed. Nowadays we have computer files, zip files. You take many files and compress it into one file. Similarly, a lot of knowledge, the entire Vedantic knowledge is compressed into sutras, aphorisms. And this text is called the Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutras, written by none other than the same Vyasa. Tradition has it. Of course, if you look at it textually and if you look at it in a more historical sense, it may be a different Vyasa. Anyhow, these Brahma Sutras, with 555 sutras, they encapsulate, systematize the entire Upanishadic literature into Vedanta philosophy. So whenever we speak about Vedanta philosophy, we are actually speaking about the Brahma Sutras. Now these Brahma Sutras have been interpreted, have been decodified, have been, explained in different ways. There is no one explanation of the Brahma Sutras. Different teachers, different acharyas over centuries have explained the Brahma Sutra in different ways, giving rise to different Vedanta philosophies. So now from Vedanta philosophy, we are coming to Vedanta philosophies. Many philosophies, not just one philosophy. Depending upon our interpretation of the Vedanta, of the Brahma Sutras, we have a philosophy. When Adi Shankaracharya wrote a bhashya, commentary on the Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutras, the Brahma Sutra bhashya of Shankaracharya is the foundation of Advaita Vedanta philosophy. The Sri Bhashya of Ramanujacharya is the foundation of Vishishtadvaita Vedanta philosophy. The Purna Prajna Bhashya of Madhvacharya is the foundation of Dvaita Vedanta philosophy. Then there are other bhashyas. The Anu Bhashya of Vallabhacharya is the foundation of Shuddhadvaita Vedanta philosophy. Our Nimbarka has commented on the Brahma Sutras, the Vedanta Parijata Bhashya, giving rise to Dvaitadvaita Vedanta philosophy. Even in Bengal, we have the Gaudiya Vaishnava sect. And this is also a Vedantic sect, a Vedantic school. The Govinda Bhashya, written by Baladevacharya, Baladev Vidyabhushan. That is the interpretation of the Brahma Sutra, which forms the philosophical basis of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, of Achinta Vedave, another school of Vedanta. Very briefly, what are the fundamental differences in these schools? The Advaita Vedanta school says, the question is, what is the relationship of this infinite spiritual reality, Brahman, Purusham Mahantam? How is that related to this world and to us? According to Advaita Vedanta, that reality alone exists. The entire world is an appearance. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahmivanapada. This world of appearance is illusory, it's an appearance. The reality behind this appearance is Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. Then who am I? Who are you? In reality, we are none other than that Satchidananda Brahman. Therefore Shankaracharya says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Brahman and Jiva, we are one and the same. No difference. Vishishtaadvaita says, we are not one and the same, there is a difference. We are parts of Brahman. Brahman is the whole, Purnam. We are parts of Brahman, Amsha. Brahman is the Angi, we are Anga. Just as I have hands and a head and feet, they are all parts of my body. And my body is the total, the Purna. In the same way, according to Ramanujacharya, Vishishtaadvaita Vedanta, that infinite spiritual reality is the whole, Purna, total. And we, individual beings, as well as this insentient world, Chetan Jeev, Jagat, we are parts. Jiva, Jagat, Vishishta Brahma, Chit, Achit, Vishishta Brahma, therefore Vishishtaadvaitam. Dvaita Vedanta says, no, they are different. Brahman is different, you are different, Jagat is different. Pancha Veda, Brahman is different from Jiva. Jivas are different from each other. Jivas are different from the Jagat. And the Jagat objects of this world are different from Brahman. And of course the objects of the world, table and chair and all this, are different from each other. Pancha Veda, it's a pluralistic approach to Vedanta. So from pluralism to monotheism of Vishishtaadvaita to the absolutism of Advaita Vedanta, the entire range of philosophical approaches to the ultimate reality, ontologically speaking, the entire spectrum is there in all these Vedanta philosophies. And all of these are different readings of the same text, Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutras. Sri Ramakrishna said that these are not conflicting theories. He said that it's not that one is right and the others are wrong. It's not that only Advaita is right and all the others are wrong, or only Vishishtaadvaita is right and all the others are wrong. No. He said that depending on the sadhaka, on the aspirant, different levels of realization, different levels of sadhana, each is true. Each is true. He said, Shabai mone kore amar kurita thik cholche. But the truth, Hanuman replied with folded hands, Deva buddhya dasoham, Jiva buddhya tadamshaka, Atma buddhya tu tvamevaham iti me nishchitamati. As a body, as a limited being, as Hanuman, you are Bhagavan Ramchandra, I am your servant, dasoham. As a jiva, as a conscious being, I am Tvat Amshaka, I am part of you. And as pure consciousness, Satchidananda, Atma Buddhya, Tvameva, even I have said, Iti me nishchitamati. This is my conviction, firm conviction. You see, Deva Buddhya Dasoham, Dvaita Vedanta. Jiva Buddhya Twadamshaka, Vishishtaadvaita Vedanta. Atma Buddhya Tvameva, Advaita Vedanta. The entire range of Vedantic philosophies is encapsulated so beautifully in this answer. Very profound, very sophisticated answer. And Sri Ramakrishna, he approves of this. When this is, in the Kathamrita you find when this is chanted, when somebody explains this, Sri Ramakrishna approves of it. It tallies very well with Sri Ramakrishna's view, Jato Mat Tato Pat. Mat Pat. Mat Kichunai Aktake Dvaita Kriha. So, whether it is Dvaita Vedanta or Vishishta Dvaita Vedanta or Advaita Vedanta, all of them can take us to the goal. That is the idea given by Sri Ramakrishna. The core Advaitic understanding, Swami Vivekananda also says the same, but his foundation he gives it as Advaita Vedanta. Sri Ramakrishna also says, Advaita Gyan Akole Vidvete Jaichadaika. The harmony is possible on the basis of Advaita Vedanta. The core message of Advaita Vedanta is expressed in the Mahavakyas, so-called Mahavakyas. There are statements. If you ask in one sentence, can you tell me what is the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta? The answer given is these Mahavakyas. In each of the Vedas, from one Upanishad, one sentence is selected. It encapsulates, encompasses the core Advaitic teaching. What are these Mahavakyas? The most famous one we all know, Tat Tvam Asi. Thou art that. Tat meaning that Brahman, Tvam meaning you, the Jiva, or I, individual person. We are in reality that Brahman. Tat Tvam Asi. This is from Chandogya Upanishad in the Samaveda. You are that Brahman. Swami Vivekananda often mentioned this in his talks in the West and translated for them. Thou art that. In the Rig Veda, Aitareya Upanishad, we find Prajnanam Brahma. The consciousness which you or I feel just now, that if understood properly, that itself is Brahman, the infinite consciousness, the ultimate reality of this universe. That is from Rig Veda. In Yajur Veda, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Don't worry, you are also Brahman, not just I. So, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I think I am a limited individual being. If I go through that process which the Upanishad will teach me, if I go through that, I will realize that I am Brahman. I am Satchidananda Brahman, that Purusham Mahamtam. In the Atharva Veda, in the Mandukya Upanishad, we find Ayam Atma Brahma. This very self, the commentator says, Anguli Nirdesha, as if pointing with a finger towards his own chest, says, this very self is Brahman. He is not an individual, limited human being subject to birth and death. The body is born and the body dies. The mind grows and develops, mind experiences knowledge and ignorance, mind experiences happiness and sadness. The mind it wakes, it dreams and it sleeps. But beyond this mind, always as the witness of this mind is that pure consciousness. I am Atma Brahman. This very self within is Brahman, is that ultimate spiritual reality spoken of in the Upanishads. Now, how are we to understand this? Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma. All of them mean the same thing. 4 sentences. They all mean the same thing. That you, literally speaking, you are God. But how do we understand this? We don't understand ourselves as God. How do we understand it? There are prakriyas, methods of philosophical inquiry, methods of vichara, which are taught in the Upanishads. As is enumerated, each of them takes a lot of time to learn, but very interesting. There is one example I gave you, the Karya Karana Bhava. The effects are many, but the cause is one. Just like there are many pieces of furniture, but the reality is one, wood. There are many types of ornament, the reality is one, gold. There are many waves in the Ganga, the reality is only one, water. In the same way, they will show you how there is only one reality behind all the apparent manifestations of this universe. Karya Karana Bhava. Drigdrishya Viveka. It's a personal favorite of mine, but there's no time to talk about it now. But basically, it tells you that which you know, you are not that. That which you know, what you see, you are different from that. What you hear or think, you're different from that. You know the body, you experience the body, so you are the knower of the body, you are not the body. You experience the mind, the thoughts in the mind, the emotions in the mind, the understanding or the lack of understanding in the mind, all are experienced by you, by something within you. So you are apart from the mind. The mind is a different entity and you are the knower of the mind. Buddhi Bodhyatma. The one which knows the Buddhi. The Buddhi knows the universe, everything in the universe. But that which experiences the Buddhi is the Atman. Drigdrishya Viveka. It shows you that you are the witness of the body and mind and the entire universe. Avasthatraya, another very powerful method. We are awake, we sometimes sleep and dream, and sometimes we are in deep sleep. By an analysis of these three methods, of these three stages, we come to understand that we are not bound by the waking stage or the dream stage or the deep sleep stage. We are the witness of these three states and free of these three states. So that's another method, a very interesting method you find in Mandukya Upanishad. Another method, for example, is the Panchakosha Viveka. They say if you examine yourself, you will find a body. This is called the Annamaya Kosha. Examine yourself further, deeper, you will find the life forces, breathing, feeling energetic, feeling hungry or thirsty, prana. It's called the Pranamaya Kosha. Go deeper, you will find thoughts, emotions, happiness, sadness, mind, Manomaya Kosha. Go deeper, you will find the buddhi, the intellect. I understand, I know, or I do not understand. That is buddhi. Go deeper, in deep sleep you find a sense of peace and blankness, Anandamaya Kosha. And the Upanishad shows you how the Atman, your real nature, is beyond these five koshas. Panchakosha Viveka. So there are various methods, all are methods of philosophical inquiry, which the qualified aspirant, if he undertakes under a qualified guru, the person is supposed to get an intuitive realization of himself or herself as the Satchidananda, as Brahman. Now the final point. What did Swami Vivekananda do with this philosophy? In this age, Swami Vivekananda reinterpreted the Upanishadic philosophy in new terms, using the very profound sayings of his master, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Now we understand what it means. If Aham Brahmasmi is true, if Tattvamasi is true, that means the one we consider to be a human being, an ordinary person, is in reality Brahman. Swami Vivekananda says, I worship that God whom the ignorant call man. যাকে অজ্ঞ পুরুষেরা মানুষ বলে সেই দেবতাকে আমি উপাসনা করি. In our ignorance we think we are individual beings, we are human beings. But the reality is that we are spirit, we are existence, consciousness, bliss. This is the idea of Shiva Jnane Jiva. And then how do you respond if you know that all these beings are Shiva, are the divinity? Then you respond with worship, with Shiva. Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. So the entire work, the philosophy of work in the Ramakrishna mission is based on this interpretation of Swami Vivekananda, interpretation of Vedanta. Swami Vivekananda says, he who runs away from life to meditate and die in a Himalayan cave, he has missed the way. He who plunges headlong into the luxuries and the vanities of the world, he too has missed the way. So very interesting. If you run away from life, go to the Himalayas, you miss the way. If you embrace the pleasure-seeking life, the mundane life, that also is missing the way. Then what is the way? And Swami Vivekananda says, Defy the world. Find God in this world itself, where you are existing, within yourself and outside yourself. Sri Ramakrishna says, Chok bando kulle tini achen, chok kulle tini nahi. God exists only when you meditate. When you open your eyes, does God disappear? No. If everything is Brahman ultimately, ওই যে ঘরটা তার একটা দিক মাটি আর অন্য দিক মাটি তা তো নয়, সবটাই মাটি. In the same way, our experience within and our experience outside, if properly understood, is none other than God. So defying this word, Swami Vivekananda was not saying anything new. The Isha Upanishad says, Ishavasya vidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita ma grihakasya siddhanam. Ishavasya vidam sarvam. Discover God in this manifested universe. In whatever you experience, you discover God. Yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever is there in this changing, changeable universe in our life, find God there. Tena tyaktena bunjita. This realization itself leads to a renunciation when you do not chase the limited goals of this life anymore. By this renunciation, protect this knowledge and live a life, Swami Vivekananda says, live a life of bliss, of blessedness, of usefulness. Do not chase limited goals in this life. An infinite existence is our birthright, is our very existence. Therefore, all the activities of the Ramakrishna Mission, schools, colleges, hospitals, this very college where we are standing today, it's all founded on this philosophy. All the monks of the Ramakrishna Mission, all the devotees and volunteers who are engaged in this great enterprise, spiritual enterprise, they have this philosophy that God is present everywhere. And equally present in the high and the low, in the learned and the ignorant, in the healthy and the sick, in the rich and the poor. And we respond to this insight into divinity by service, by worship, which is expressed in service. So this is the whole idea behind the philosophy of work in Ramakrishna Mission. The philosophy of service is based on Swami Vivekananda's modern interpretation of Vedanta philosophy, of the ancient Vedanta philosophy. There is no end to this. I can go on and on and on, but I think we have managed to encapsulate, to take a bird's eye view of the entire range of Vedantic philosophy and its implications for us in the modern age. I will end here. I wish all of you the very best in life, in personal life, in your professional life. May all of us find peace and joy and blessedness, that which is promised by the Upanishads, promised by the Vedanta, by the grace of God, by the grace of Thakur Swami. Thank you very much. Namaskar.